Wiped out, I could trip a referee. Tell by my attitude that I most definitely from. Hey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another This Week in Startups. It's episode number 67. Wow. We've done a lot of shows. How's your summer going, Tyler?
It's going. Is it summer yet, really, though?
It is. It's the end of July, actually. It's going very quickly.
It hasn't got warm yet in LA or in Santa Monica.
Yeah, Santa Monica stays the same temperature. In September, it gets like August.
It's been 78 degrees since
I got here 7 years ago,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
I just got back from New York, where we had an amazing Open Angel Forum.
Yeah.
Fantastic companies, and packed, even in the summer months, so it's doing great. In October, we'll have Open Angel Forum in London.
Yes.
You're going to come out for that.
Yep.
We're also going to be doing, on October 5th or 6th, the Carson's Future of Web Apps. So everybody should go check out Future of Web Apps. August 3rd, I will be in the Valley for Founders, what is it called, the day I was there?
Founders Institute.
They do their Founders Showcase.
Right.
So it's myself and Elon Musk from Tesla and SpaceX fame. So I'll be speaking at that on August 3rd. You can go buy tickets at the Founders Institute.
Oh, that's open to the public now?
No, the Founders Institute isn't, but Founders Showcase is. So
that's
you can buy a ticket. It's pretty cheap. On August 14th, I'll be speaking at the audience conference with the Mike Arrington puppet. I'll be doing shtick with the puppet at the audience conference on August 14th. You can go to audience conference for that. With me today, Adam Bernhard, not Bernard.
Bernhard.
Bernhard. He's the CEO and founder of Hautelook. Hautelook is, of course, part of this incredible craze that is going on for the last 2 years or so of, what do you like to call it? Because people say it's like the deal space or the deal of the day space. Do you have a name for it? Flash sale space?
Yeah, flash sales.
Flash sales
so
is what you
private
like?
sales or flash sales.
I like private
Deal of
sale.
the day is a little different. That's more like Woot.
Woot's deal of the day.
Right, they have one item, they
You
sell
guys are
it.
a flash sale.
We're flash sales. We have 8 to 10 new brands every day. So it's not just one deal, but we probably have, in any given day, 800 different items for sale, but only for 48 hours.
Got it. And so, and then you have Groupon. They're flash sales too, but it's one deal.
Right, they're local services.
Local services.
Right, we
So
sell hard goods.
And then you have Woot. What would you call that entire category? Is it social commerce? Is there a name for it?
Social commerce is what everyone's coining this now. So I think
I just came up with that. Is that really what they're calling it?
Yeah, social commerce
Okay.
is what we're all talking about.
Oh,
so
okay.
we're not only selling items every day, we have turned into a marketing vehicle. If you
Right.
think about what we really do is every night we re-merchandise our store.
Right.
And every morning you come and it's a new discovery.
Yeah. And the marketing is a key part of that. We're going to get into that during the interview, which will happen about 20 minutes into the program. But we all know that people's favorite part of the program is Ask Jason. And Ask Jason today is sponsored by Trada. Trada is a crowdsourced pay-per-click marketplace. You leverage the skills of more than 500 certified paid search experts instead of hiring your own, right? You do a lot of paid search.
Yes, we do.
I can't believe the number of Groupon and Living Social ads I see on Mahalo. Like, they buy everything in LA. Are people just buying the whole city, every city name, those guys?
They're spending a lot of money because it's local, so they have to be laser focused in every geography that they're in. So ours is a little bit different. We focus more on a group than an area.
So what kind of keywords do you guys buy? What would you buy?
Shopping keywords.
Deals.
Sample sales, keywords around the brands that we're working with.
And you got a bunch of SEM experts who work for you full time, I bet. Couple. And those people are hard to find, are they not?
They're hard to find. LA, we're lucky because there's a lot of lead gen here, so we're lucky we can find some great people.
They're expensive too, and hey, that's what Trada does. Trada lets businesses not as big as Hautelook find people who are certified paid search experts, and they go find the keywords for a small business. And if you mention Twish, you get $100 worth of pay-per-click marketing free for every $1,000 you spend. They're going to have to cap it at $3,000 because you're going to love it and you're going to spend a lot of money with them. On average, advertisers who start working with Trada reduce their cost per acquisition by 10%. Thank you to Trada for sponsoring the program and making free independent media possible. You can go ahead and just thank @Trada on your Twitter or Facebook account, and boy, does that mean a lot to them, and that's why they buy the ads. They see all those Tradas going by during Twist, and they feel really good about it. And what episode was Neil from Trada on the program?
37.
Episode 37.
I'm trying going by memory there. Let me. I want to verify that.
Anyway, Neil was on the program. He got so many clients. It's a true story. He got so many clients. He called up a couple weeks later and said, "Can we advertise on the program?" I was like, "Yeah, of course you can." And took an advertisement. He's like, well, yeah, I was like, that's pretty good. Okay, so Ask Jason. We have Jeff on the phone, or I should say, we have Jeff on the Skype. The interstitials and graphics and everything. Professional.
Look at that.
It's pretty nice. I'm always so proud of like the graphics and everything. It probably cost about $1 to make that, but it's slightly more production than a normal like podcast in somebody's basement. Jeff, Evolution, exactly. Jeff, I see you there. Are you in your home office?
I'm in my home office right now. Yes.
Pretty nice home. You got some nice sunlight there. I like it. And nice shirt.
Ohio day. Yeah,
Witness. We are all witnesses of LeBron being a quitter.
Exactly.
And you're from Cleveland.
I'm from Cleveland, the Cleveland area. I'm from Norwalk, which is nearby, a suburb.
And how bad of a person is LeBron James?
I mean, he's horrible. I mean, he is
really.
He's like the villain for Cleveland right now.
He just truly is. Deep down in heart, LeBron is a bad person. I think you can agree. As a New York Knicks fan, I agree. And what a terrible decision to decide, instead of being like a winner and a hero, to become like Scottie Pippen to Dwayne Wade. It's just pathetic, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I've been seeing all the stuff going on about how Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson said, "Hey, I want to play those guys.
Yeah.
I want to compete."
LeBron represents the worst Generation Y entitlement that I speak about on this program often. He feels he's entitled to those championships, and instead of earning them, he will always have one less than his partner, Dwayne Wade. That will be his curse, I think. You an NBA fan?
Yes. Laker fan.
You're a Laker fan.
Grew up here.
Of course, yeah. It's a pretty amazing team. I do like the way Kobe has developed, and I love Ron Artest because he's a maniac.
What I love about it is everyone said, we need to keep Shaq. We let Shaq go because it was Kobe and Shaq, and we kept Kobe. And we just keep winning championships.
Exactly.
Shaq hasn't won anything since he left.
He won one. He won one in Miami with Dwayne Wade, speaking of. Okay, Jeff, we've trashed LeBron James' poor decision-making skills enough. Let's hear your question.
Okay, my question is basically the chicken before the egg situation regarding building a consumer web service. How do we get tons of users without spending tons of money? My website is 7lunches.com, and we're a site that allows restaurants to post a single 140-character daily special, and we basically aggregate for them by zip code. Everybody who signs up as a diner gets all the specials near them in one daily email based on zip between 5 and 50 miles. So we have some restaurants beta testing it, but we really want to break out and make it big time.
So your question is, how do I get people to know my product without spending money, and how do I get to scale? There's a couple of different ways you can do this. There's guerrilla marketing, which was a term that came up essentially in the 80s and 90s, which is going out and putting flyers places and whatnot. That viral marketing appeared because of Hotmail. Inside of the product, there was something that carried the message of the product. That's viral marketing. Because you're an email being sent to people, it is inherently viral. So what you have to do is what I call the Control F test, which is how forwardable is your email. If people really think that email has value, they'll forward it, right? You forward a couple emails a day. Well, if you write something really good, it gets forwarded and it grows. So the email newsletter I started for my, I stopped blogging, in 18 months got to 20,000 subscribers because it was good and I didn't publish the bad stuff. So as an email, providing something of value, right? You're saving people money, getting them a deal. You're in really good shape at the start because you have something of value. Now, on top of that, you have somebody who has a venue already in the real world, right? You have restaurants. So if you can enable them to do marketing on your behalf, and they're helping themselves at the same time, boy, then you've got something that's a big win-win. So if you can put little cards up there that say, follow us on 7 Lunches, and you'll get a discount code, etc. You can have them do your marketing for you. That's the sort of Tom Sawyer method where they're painting the fence for you. But luckily you called in when we had an expert on social shopping here. Adam, you've heard the question. What do you think? What ways can you market without spending a lot of money?
I think the way that our business grew, we didn't have a marketing department for the first 18 months of our business, and now we're about a year and a half, a year past that, and we have close to 3 million members. The first year and a half was member get member. And the way that we were able to get our members to champion our message was give them something for it. So if you referred a member and they bought something, you got $10 in your account.
Right.
The way that you're going to be able to get this viral message to spread is by giving them something to do your work for you.
Right.
I think going to the providers of the services, the restaurants, and cutting a deal with them, take a little hit on what you're going to make to build your business. Right. Give them that back and give it to the member who is referring their friend. That's the best way to do it. Give them something to do your work for you.
There you go. There's a great answer, which is essentially the affiliate program. If you look at Amazon, Amazon did not spend a lot of money on advertising in the early days. They created the affiliate. You know, were they the first people to do an affiliate program like that? There were some people before them, like Link Exchange, I guess.
Yeah, the affiliate network that they created was the first of what all the copycats are doing now.
Yeah, so Amazon, actually, if you go to them and say, hey, will you sponsor something? They say, absolutely, put up an affiliate link, and that's how they spend money with people. If I ask them to sponsor This Week in Startups, they'll say, sure, of course we'll do that. Go to the affiliate center. And that's what we're talking about here. Give them something for getting something. Does that help?
That does help. I think part of the issue we're having is restaurants. You know, you want to get more restaurants for the users, and then the users, they're like, oh well, we want to get the restaurants on board. There is a suggest a restaurant feature we're building, and there is a invite your friends. So that kind of stuff is you're pointing me in the right direction, and we're moving forward. And I think I might even try Trada out for some of my search engine.
Not a bad idea, and
so
we should try. We'll get Trada in touch with you. But check out dailyd.com, which is Matt Coffin, who was on the program, is associated with this, and he has a pretty cool idea, which is if you are the person who suggests a restaurant to them as a member, and they wind up doing a deal with them, you get a free lunch there. So the first person to suggest a deal, here's a suggest a deal tab on dailyd.com, really clever idea. And you'll see I put a suggestion in here last week. Let's see. I put Ichigo, which is one of my favorite places for sushi, and I was the first person to put it in there, and nobody's voted it up yet. Or I put Sugarfish in there as well. So if Sugarfish or Ichigo wind up doing a deal, I get a free ticket. So that's a pretty cool way. Yeah, what does it say here? If there's a business you want to deal with, tell us. If you are the first to recommend a specific business and we then get a deal with that business, we'll give you the deal for free, so don't wait. Perfect. Great idea. Again, get them to do your marketing for you. Yeah,
thank you.
Wait, Tyler's got an idea.
Most restaurants are parts of restaurant associations as well. That they get together and share best practices, and depending, I mean, it might be worth them, making an appearance at some of those. If in fact you're driving real value, and they're going to want to see that you've got numbers to sort of back that up. So if you can show, here's some case studies of where we drove X ROI to this place, then you've got a real strong case to present there. So,
Yep. I've been to the National Restaurant Association trade show this spring. That was the first trade show I've been to, and I may be speaking at the Ohio Restaurant Association. So I'm kind of going down those avenues.
Cool.
So yeah, thank you. Just confirming some of my thoughts. So,
and I think a big part of your job is going to be to temper the expectations of the restaurants. When we started our website, we were only able to sell a fraction of the inventory that the brands had. But we went to them and said, help us build the business, and we're going to help you with a big solution at the end of this. So your job as a salesman going to sign these people up is to temper their expectations, get them to be a partner. Don't use them to build your website, but tell them that you're their partner. They're going to help you now, you'll help them in the end.
Yeah, it's a really, really good advice. If you could make it a win-win-win is the corny way people say it. A win for the customer, win for the business, and a win for you and your company. You do great. One last piece of advice. Good idea. Get the lunch specials distributed, etc., and give a deal. Certainly everybody wants a deal. Really focus on one area and get to critical mass. Because doing a national launch of a product when you have no money or not a lot of money to back it up is going to be very difficult. So I would focus just on Cleveland. or just on downtown Cleveland, or you know what I'm saying? You know, make it work in one area, which is what Yelp did. They made it work in San Francisco and the Bay Area before opening up other cities, which is what Foursquare did. This is a tried and true process of launching to get critical mass quicker. You just basically narrow the focus down to one geographic location. Are you doing that already?
We're trying to hit Boston, which is where my partner is, and I'm trying to focus on Columbus because that's the biggest college town. It's the 16th largest market in our area, and I probably have about 20 restaurants down there using it now. So it's starting to get there in those two main markets. So.
Awesome. Well done, and good luck with that. And 7 Lunches is the website. Is it 7lunches.com?
7lunches.com and at 7lunches on Twitter.
Spell out 7 or just use the number 7?
Spelled out on Twitter. The number 7 will also work for the domain.
Okay.
So
everybody follow 7 Lunches. Everybody check it out. Everybody retweet it. You've got 4,000 people following you already. It's pretty good. And an iPhone application apparently.
We're working on it.
Very good. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Good job.
Happening. Thank you.
Okay. Boom. Pretty simple. Good advice. Can you imagine you're a first-time entrepreneur and you get that advice from like a bunch of guys? It's good, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I wish I had this when we were growing up in the internet space. So how did you get started?
My background comes from the apparel business. So I saw an opportunity for off-price, was using an international distribution mechanism to clear inventory for brands. Saw the proliferation of this contemporary brand, this contemporary lifestyle, and knew that they were going to need to protect their brand more so than brands had in the past, and saw an opportunity to help brands earn more money from their excess, from their exhaust, and use these goods as a marketing vehicle and allow them to reach out and touch their customers directly through the mechanism of the internet.
Right.
They can solve a problem of exhaust by making more money for themselves. I knew it was a very...
And exhaust is defined in the business as excess inventory.
Excess inventory.
They just got to get rid of this. It's taking up space in their warehouse or whatever, and it's worth zero, essentially. They probably have almost written it off, right? I mean...
It moves so quickly in the apparel business that they haven't written it off, and what they need to do is protect their brand from it going into the wrong stores that will have a bad effect on the brand name.
Got it. So if I see Prada at Century 21 in New York, which is a famous discount outlet, I might not feel so good about it.
If you see it there once, you're okay. If you see it there every day,
then you're like, why do I go to the Prada store, or why do I go to Barney's,
and
or whatever?
That's why part of what we did was say, let's make it 48 hours. Let's make the sale 48 hours, so even if you did it 4 times a year and we could move all of your exhaust, it's not sitting on the floor day after day after day. Even if there's one piece, it doesn't need to sit on the floor.
Right.
It doesn't.
And it really is in the fashion business, the apparel business. That's really a big concern, isn't it? Like, just your image is everything, because the clothes tend to be built in the same factories, out of the same fabrics. I mean, there really is very little difference in the actual brands.
There's a lot of difference. You know, the designers are very particular, but what we're protecting is the label that's in the back of the garment. That's really what we're doing.
I mean, but if there's 5 white shirts, you know, we have collared shirts on, and I put, you know, the person at Armani and the person at Joseph Abboud would like to think that the blue shirts are so different, but maybe in fact they're not to the consumer as much.
Our consumers very well educated. Obviously, because of the advent of the internet, the girls are more knowledgeable now than they've ever been. So the brand is so important to them. The ability for them to have something that is of high quality and high level is very important. So there's a big difference to our consumers of the blue shirt. It's not just a blue shirt, it's a blue shirt.
So the consumer, you know, coming to these things is more sophisticated, but they may not have the resources to buy in the store directly, or they are sophisticated and just want to get a great deal.
We break down both the price barrier of entry into the brand and the geographic barrier of entry into the brand. The sample sale, as it was coined a long time ago, was available to those in New York and LA.
Right.
If you weren't part of even an elite group in New York and LA, you weren't invited. So we've democratized the sample sale, brought it across the country, what I say between the ears, allowed everyone to participate in this fantastic way of becoming a member of a new brand culture without having to pay full retail to taste that.
Yeah, I mean, the sample sales in New York, if you knew somebody once or twice a year. You could get to them. The Barney's one was probably the only one that was really ever promoted. And it was promoted in a very small way, maybe a small advertisement in the New York Times or something.
You knew about it, so, and I don't know if you're a fashion maven or not,
I'm
but
not.
you knew about it.
I'm not, but I lived in Chelsea with a
Right.
lot of other people who are fashionable. And yeah, people would just tell me, or people in my art department would say, oh, there's a, this designer's having a sample sale. My friend works over there. I mean, that's how it spread. It was strictly word of mouth.
And the frenzy that you would see in your office, we have translated that to online. Scarcity, the time, they know the time constraint is 48 hours. They know that there's not a lot of inventory. So we've got them coming
And it's not
every
public,
year.
right? I mean, you can't see the deals unless you sign up.
Correct.
And now you can sign up without being invited. When you started, did you have it be only member get a member? Was that, like Hautelook or Gilt Groupe only let members get members?
Our site is more inclusive than exclusive.
Got it.
We invite everybody to come. You just have to come and become a member.
So you have the firewall, but you don't need to be invited.
The firewall was more to protect the brand than
Yeah.
to keep the consumers out.
Now, what about all these sites now that are aggregating all the deals and taking the brand deals that were behind, the firewall and putting them on blogs and stuff like that? Do you guys have to police that?
Obviously, once a sale goes live, if someone's a member, they have the right to go and tell their followers in their blog that we are selling that. We don't participate with any of the aggregators.
Got it. So they can't, but do some of them have affiliate programs? So there's no affiliate program for this industry, like an aggregator? If I want to put it on calcanis.com or mahalo.com, I can't just put it up there and get an affiliate link.
We don't have that. I don't know what the other guys are doing.
And if you did, it would it starts to take away the exclusivity and membership of it, I guess.
Part of why we don't do it is because we built this for the brands. We have two customers that we are working for. Like you said, win-win-win.
Yeah.
We have, the brands are our customer, and our members are our customer. So we're making sure that we protect the brand, and we're making sure that we deliver the customer an exciting event every day of the best brands in the world at 50 to 70% off of retail.
So are you a first-time entrepreneur running this company? You worked for other companies before this.
I've started a couple companies.
Oh, okay.
And I've worked at companies. So I started one, that didn't go well, and then I got a job, and then I started another company prior to this one. That led to this business. So we had a liquidation business that once I saw that this business was taking off, was consuming all my time. We closed that business, and then this business has
Tell me
been
about
running.
that pivot. Like, how long were you working on that business? And when you see, I guess you saw Von Privé or Gilt Groupe or these things. You saw the French doing this a lot, or the Woots? What was the inspiration?
We didn't see anybody. We actually came up with the idea. We thought it was an original idea, and we launched about 10 days after Gilt. So we were already working on it. Gilt and us launched about the same time.
Oh, wow.
Their story is they saw Von Privé in Europe, and they built the site. We were liquidators.
Yeah.
So we had this community of brands that were asking us for other ways in which we could move their inventory. We saw the sample sale. We knew putting it online would be a great idea. We didn't know what form it would take. It was a little early when we thought about it 2 years before we launched.
Yeah.
We developed it, started the business with 4 people 2.5 years ago in a little hole in downtown LA.
Yeah.
Today we have over 200 employees and close to 3 million members.
Wow. So what's it been like adding that many employees? I mean, basically, I'm assuming most of them came in the last year of the 175?
Yeah, 200. So, we hired probably about 125 of them in the last year.
So that means every other day a new person showing up?
Yeah, pretty much.
What's that like as a CEO of the company to be dealing with that many new people, and how do you keep the culture moving in the right direction?
That's part of why going to work is so enjoyable every day. I had one of our younger employees come to me and actually do an interview yesterday because she came to me in the elevator and said, I tell my readers I have a blog that I love coming to work every day, and not a lot of people get to say that. Right. So she came and interviewed me for her blog. It's the culture there, the average age is 26 years old, right? I hired someone who's 40. I'm like, look, you threw our whole average off here.
Right.
So it is a young culture. It's exciting. It's fashion. We're moving quickly. And because the business continues to grow so fast in a very exciting space, we're able to hold on to that kind of California casual lifestyle that the brand is, really is integrated into everything that we do as a company.
Big temptation to move into travel like Gilt has, or maybe daily deals. You must be starting to think about that. You have 3 million members. Why not go into another vertical?
Right, so we're in 11 verticals now.
Right.
We'll be launching food and wine, launches next month.
And food and wine means what? Like buy a case of wine or go to this restaurant?
So gourmet food and wine. So it's
gotcha.
we're working with the wineries to sell the best wines at a great price. We're working with some of the best cheese providers and all the gourmet foods that you would want that really merchandise well with what we do in a lifestyle. We wouldn't sell anything that wasn't in the lifestyle of our member.
You're not selling Kellogg's or Cheerios. You're selling
high-end
granola or something.
Exactly.
Right, some handcrafted granola.
Yes, specialty items that our customers maybe aren't aware of.
Right.
Our brands would like to reach these customers, and so that launches next month. We are launching services and experiences. So spa services, and then we'll have experiences, not just go to this place for dinner. It's not get $20 for $10. It's more of a wine, food, experience.
Chef's table in the kitchen.
Correct.
Something a little more elite. So you're very concerned about keeping your brand high-end, experiential, stylish, and not you don't want to be in the Groupon business of selling the deli meat for $12 for $30 worth of knish or whatever.
We are very focused on delivering within our lifestyle of our customers. So it's aspirational.
Right.
We want them to be able to experience things that maybe they haven't been able to experience, seemed out of their range. And the brands are very happy to get a new member to try their experience.
So now I'm working at, I'm the merchandiser, I guess, at one of these big companies, Prada or something like that. And now I've got a phone call, I've got you guys calling, I got Gilt Groupe calling, I got 20 other knuckleheads who are building knockoff businesses calling. Is there enough exhaust for everybody to go around, or is it becoming a problem now that there's too many people in your space, knockoffs, making noise?
I think the moat seems to be getting bigger around the bigger players in the business. The brands only want to deal with a handful of people, so the smaller guys are going to have more and more trouble getting the supply. The single vertical flash sale providers are trying. I think they're having a little bit of difficulty because there needs to be a compelling reason for a member to go every day. Do they need something from that single vertical every day? That's a little bit hard, I think, for the members to swallow. They'll go once in a while to those sites, but we deliver 11 different verticals. We're launching our men's on Monday, actually.
Oh, wow.
So we have a men's sale every day the month of August, and you'll continue to see that escalate from 1 to 2 to 3 towards the Q4. So we have women's, kids, men's. Our home business is doing phenomenally well.
So it will become a problem, but not for you guys because you're at the top of the food chain. The person who's got all that excess inventory is going to say, I'm going to talk to the top 3 people. There'll be nothing left after that.
Right.
So problem solved. That's how it's defensible, is that you guys have gotten big, you got to scale. Do you guys require like an exclusive to work with you guys? Like I heard Groupon now requires like a 6-month exclusive. If you're going to do a deal with them, you can't do it with Living Social or whatever.
Right.
You guys negotiate exclusives into these things now?
We don't have any contracts with our brand partners because they are our partner. Our model is a little bit different than the other players in the space. We are a partner to the brand, and we don't buy the inventory from the brand. We provide all the services of producing the event, managing the event, merchandising the event, creating the content section, and we do the sale on behalf of the brand, and then we place the order with the brand to get the merchandise, and then we ship it. They'll ship it to us, and then we ship it to the individuals.
How long does it take to get it then? If it seems like you have to wait a couple of days, or?
Right, so because we have such amazing prices for our members, it does take a couple extra days.
Yeah.
But our typical delivery time is somewhere between 10 and 14 days.
$41 million in funding, $31 million Series C from Insight Venture Partners in New York. Is that Devin Parekh and those guys over there?
Yeah, Devin, Jeff Lieberman.
Smart guys.
Great guys.
That's a lot of money to raise. What do you need all that money for? I mean, that's big number. Is it just expansion or what?
Yeah, so up until about 8 weeks ago, we only had $10 million in the business.
Right.
So we raised $31 million about 8 weeks ago, and that's going to allow us to continue to expand this business, go into other verticals, the top talent. We brought in some fantastic resources. We brought in a new GMM of brands from Old Navy, fantastic. We brought in one of our head of marketing came from eBay, and our
now you can afford the big talent. Like these are the people who cost real money to get them away from an eBay deal or a Google deal.
The landscape is changing.
Yeah.
You've got eBay getting into the business in some way. They're all focused on CSA.
Yeah, they've got a knockoff site, but it's not doing well from what I understand.
Okay. But you've got a lot of people looking at
You've done a good job at media training. You wouldn't say anything disparaging about anybody.
No, right. Even before the media training.
Even before media training? There's got to be some... Well, this is the question I have, so give me an honest answer to this one. Who loses in this? Because, you know, you can't all be, or can it, as a new pie has been created. Somebody has to be losing here. The brands clearly aren't losing because this is excess inventory. Does the retail chain, are some people going to say, you know what, there's enough of these sites that I'm just going to shop on them? Because it feels like there are. I mean, if you were into eating out local and you were on Living Social and Groupon and this guy's 7 lunches, I feel like you could eat 100% if you go out to eat 5 times a week, you could eat 100% at Groupon sites. I could probably dress 100% at Hautelook and Gilt Groupe and, you know, whatever knockoff Amazon or eBay does. So when that happens, what does that do to the retail chain?
So like you said earlier, your favorite sushi restaurant.
Yeah.
It's your favorite restaurant. You suggested that because you want other people to try it.
Right.
Well, if they are limited on how often they use the channel, then you will go back and now you're a full price customer.
Yeah.
So we are helping brands. You look at QVC, what they did. QVC, when they first started doing beauty, the department stores were up in arms. Then they realized it's a marketing vehicle. We have 3 million members. Only a small fraction of those are buying every day, but they're exposed to the brand. This has turned into much more than an exhaust channel. It's turned into a marketing vehicle. So the brands are now able to use something that used to be detrimental, which was selling a good for less than they paid for it. Mm-hmm. Now they take that, they make more money off of that item, and they're reaching a new consumer base that they hadn't touched previously.
So maybe the loser is the person who was getting the marketing dollars before that, because I don't need as much marketing. So if I'm marketing through you, does that mean I need Vogue as much or whatever local paper or magazine?
I think everybody wins, right? Because all the publishers are now wanting to work with us. So the dollars may not be coming directly from the brands, maybe they're coming from us.
So you guys take ads out in Vogue or something like that.
We partner with them. Yesterday, if you went to the site, we have an afternoon pick-me-up sale that's sponsored by Lucky Magazine. So we work with Lucky Magazine. So if the designer now doesn't have the dollars to spend there, well, we do because we're working with the designer.
So you have to pay to get
Everybody
audience.
wins, Jason.
No, somebody's going to lose.
Wins.
By the time we get through this, I guarantee somebody will lose. No, so let's talk about competition then. You're putting up a good front, but it's possible that this is a new channel and that this is increasing demand. Maybe people will buy more. Maybe people will go out to restaurants more because of this. So I will concede that there could be extra, but it's got to be chipping away at somebody. Tyler, you have an insight or something?
It would have to be the Lomans and TJ Maxx's and the... Are
those guys closeout kind of guys?
Yeah, they sell closeouts.
So those real in-person closeouts.
Brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar closeouts? Well, you can see that this may possibly, on some level, impact their business?
The off-price brick and mortar business is a $30 billion a year industry. Mm-hmm. The online flash sale business has, in a very short period of time, become a substantial channel for brands to be able to move inventory.
Probably right now, between Gilt Groupe and you guys, not counting the Groupons, 400 million, 500 million. I'd say
well over $1 billion.
Oh, because we have other, like Gilt Groupe, and what about the? Is that international, like Von Privé or?
Von Privé does 1.1 billion by themselves.
Yeah, we know that, right? Okay, so you're including them.
Gilt? No, I'm not including them. Say Gilt, us, Rue,
right,
and maybe the other little players will do well over $1 billion this year.
So that would mean it's 5. Let's call it 5% of the overall market. It could grow 10x.
Oh, a lot less than that. It's a $30 billion offline market.
And you have $1 billion.
So 1 billion of 30
is
3%. 3%.
Or so.
Yeah.
And you can see this business on the pace it's going, it'll be 10x in 3 years.
I would hope so. From your mouth to God's ears.
Pretty safe bet that this will go 10x in 3 to 5 years. If you only have 3 million customers, and we've got 100 million people online, I mean, this could very easily be 30 million people doing this in a very short period of time.
This business will look completely different.
Yeah.
in 2-3 years than it does look now.
Pretty clear the way DST and these people are investing in it. So if that happens, maybe it takes half that business. Maybe it's a third of the business.
The channel will evolve.
Yeah.
There'll be ways for us to continue to grow the channel without eating into more and more of the supply. Opening more verticals.
Sure.
The consumer is looking for us for more content. So there's ways in which we can continue to grow our revenue without having to continue to eat into the brick and mortar business.
Yeah. My prediction, brick and mortar is screwed. I believe I believe there are people who could. I'll ask the people in the chat room too. I mean, I think there's people who are going to wind up shopping exclusively at these things, just like there's people who shop exclusively at Amazon or order their groceries exclusively online. And Shoe Dazzle, who we had on the program when I was out of town. I mean, there are people now who just use Shoe Dazzle and they don't buy any other shoes.
That's not exhaust.
That's not exhaust. Good point. Like Netflix is not exhaust either.
Right. They're producing for that channel.
There is a key difference to the clothing manufacturer in the online versus offline, in that offline will buy out your entire closeout inventory, whatever it happens to be, where in some models of the online, they're only selling a certain amount of it. Like they get sales for 500 of the shirt instead of, I'll buy out all your closeout. So currently there's a difference from their perspective. The customer doesn't care. The customer probably prefers the online, obviously.
Yeah.
And a lot of what those large brick and mortar off-price retailers are commodity items. Most of what we sell is a little bit higher end designer.
Why is HSN and those kind of people not in this business yet? It makes no sense. Like, shouldn't Barry Diller own this business by now? I mean,
should we call him?
You should call him. Yes, he's got him on line one.
Get Barry on the phone.
I think that's the. I mean. These businesses are going to become large standalone businesses in IPO. I mean, that's clearly what Groupon's path and Gilt Groupe, I've been told from people inside the company. These things are going straight to IPO.
What else do you know about Gilt Groupe?
I know they're interested in the IPO. I've heard that from people inside the company. Is that something you guys think is an eventuality, or?
We're looking to continue to grow the business, right? So there's a number of things that could happen with this business, but as we've built this business by keeping our nose down and focused on building the business. Something down the line would be very exciting, but right now we're focused on continuing to grow.
And you're the number 2 player. Is that pretty clear and well known? You're right behind Gilt.
Right.
I mean, basically. So you've got a little catch up to do, and they're a little bit ahead of you. They've raised a little bit more money. A lot more money? Yeah, they've raised a lot. What do you think of that sort of? You guys have a Coke and Pepsi thing going, or whatever. You're obviously head-to-head competitors. Do you track them a lot? Are you trying to beat them? Are you trying to keep pace with them? Or are you just playing your own game? How do the two companies?
First and foremost, there's very big differences with the model.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
They're a retailer that buys inventory and sells inventory.
So they hold the inventory.
They hold a lot of inventory.
Got it.
They've raised, if you read $100 million or so more.
Sure. And that's to have that stuff in inventory,
As you continue to grow your business, you need more inventory to fuel the growth. We are a platform. We work in partnership with the brands to clear their inventory for them. So different model.
Right.
And
so on a blocking and tackling, that means they have massive exposure. You don't. They can ship a little faster, but probably not that much faster, maybe a day or two. Does that also mean that they can go to the vendor and say, we'll give you the money now? Does that mean you have the cash advantage in terms of you don't have to lay it out, but they have the deal, make a better deal advantage because they can put some cash up immediately?
We turn it into cash very quickly.
Yeah.
So we pay the brands within a week after the sale. So there's not a big timing difference.
Yeah.
And we work with the brands. So the brands, one thing that's very important is the brands have protection, right? So they're part of what happens with the sale.
Right.
And we don't look at ourselves as huge competitors to go. We're a California casual lifestyle brand. They're more of a high-end, glossy Vogue brand.
New York, yeah.
We're about 85% of what a girl has in her closet. Right. That's what we're focused on.
Right.
So we're continuing to focus on that. We're continuing to make sure that the lifestyle of our customer is served on a regular basis with everything that we put up for sale on the site.
Got it. Interesting. Would you guys ever think of going into the media business? Because it feels like the media business should be in this business, So have you guys ever thought maybe we should be, because you are writing good editorial, right? That's a big piece of what you do, is to present these sales in a big way. Could we expect a Hautelook magazine at some point, or videos, or just sort of independent editorial attached to the brand, because it is a lifestyle?
I think the concept of partnering with media is very interesting.
Yeah.
They obviously are looking at the space because we are delivering content on a daily basis. We just happen to have some commerce at the end of our content.
Exactly.
Every day.
Right.
So they're looking, I would imagine that they're all trying to figure out, hey, how did this grow so fast? They've got the ear of the consumer. They're selling goods and providing content. Wow, this is really something special. So it grew so quickly. I think people at first thought it was just an exhaust channel.
Right.
What they're realizing now is not only is it an exhaust channel, but it's a marketing vehicle and a data and insights warehouse.
It's content. Like people read it because they're like, oh, I want to learn about fashion.
We deliver to our brands a dashboard that allows them in real time in pictorial form to see everything that's happening with their sale in real time.
So they're learning something like these acid wash jeans are not doing so well. Maybe less of those.
If you get yesterday's Wall Street Journal, there's an article that we helped participate in, which was we now know what colors are selling in what part of the country. And we worked with the Wall Street Journal to let them explain to their readers that we were a source for predicting what colors are working now in the country because we have instant data. So a brand can design into that.
What are the colors? Is there really a difference? Is some correlation between the color of blue jeans here than in New York versus Miami?
The northern part of the country is a little bit darker. As you start to work your way down, you start to get lighter and lighter shades.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
So the light browns, the whites, maybe in South Beach and San Diego and Los Angeles, not so much in Portland and Vermont.
A little bit darker up there.
A little bit darker up there. They got maybe a little dark brown.
But what you glean from that is this is a powerful data and insights warehouse where we have so much information. I mean, if the brick and mortar people could follow their customers around their store and write down everything that happened while they were in the store, that's what we have.
Right, because they clicked on it, how many seconds they stayed on it. Have you seen Chartbeat, the program Chartbeat?
No.
I'm an advisor of the company, but it's basically Google Analytics in real time for a website. So they sort of have a similar product, but you could see this being very, very powerful if they see people are hanging out on this page, but they're not buying it, and people are buying this one instantly, and they're getting off the page. I mean, it's very interesting data, you're right. Has anybody used that specifically for that purpose? Have they said, we're going to give you 1,000 pairs of each of these shoes in different colors or different styles, and we're just blowing these through the channel. We don't even need to make money on it because we want to know what 100,000 to put in Target.
We've had two things that people have used it for. One was a vertical retailer who looked at where their sales were to determine if they should go to that market to put a new store.
That's interesting.
And then we had brands who tested items, not in a particular region, but they put into a sale items that were from the next season to see if they resonated with the customers.
Interesting. So forward-looking as opposed to we're going to give you last year's. They're trying to figure out what's going to pop this year.
Is this going to work, and how they can forecast how much they order.
Interesting. Any questions from the audience? We have Adam, the CEO of Hautelook here. I'm Jason Calacanis. You're listening to This Week in Startups. I'm here with Tyler Crowley.
Also, on that last point, it's also interesting if you are testing out a new manufacturer and you can send stuff out and see how many people want to return it potentially. Like if it doesn't wash well after 5 washes, and then they can find that out before they go out and do the full order with that manufacturer or whatever.
Interesting.
Love you, Tyler, but I don't want to test any returns.
What are the returns like? You have I'm sure you can return anything for credit is the way it works.
Right. So our return rate is historically low for the internet. It's about 11%.
Yeah. I mean, for fashion, that's pretty extraordinary, I guess, because you have things that don't fit.
That's blended across all of the different verticals.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So some verticals we have that are non-returnable. Right. Lingerie is non-returnable. Bathing suits. So 11% is blended.
Huh. Looking to go to Europe or Asia? Question from Rincon Rise in the chat room.
Love to go to Capri for the summer.
Yeah. How about the business? There's a lot. I mean, Europe is pretty well populated. Asia seems to have tons of people coming into. Is there any opportunity to go global at this point, or is it too late?
Not that it's too late. I think there's so much opportunity left here in America. Our penetration is pretty low here in America. We have 3 million members. There's 330 million people here in America.
Yeah.
So I think this is where we are focused. We've had opportunities. We've looked at international expansion, but we're keeping our eye on the ball here in America.
Yeah, that sounds like you have plenty of room to grow. What's the toughest part of this business right now? What's the most challenging part?
Managing the magnitude of opportunity. Yeah. Where are we going to go next, right? So raising $31 million allowed us to start to make some bets in different areas, but there's so many opportunities coming our way, and it's which one do we want to take?
And how do you make that choice? How do you pick the next vertical?
It's all about magnitude, right? So we look at the vertical, we understand not only how big is it, but what's the penetration look like, what's the discount look like. As we look at consumer electronics, massive category, but the price competition in that category is so severe that it doesn't make sense for us to do it with the shipping charge that we have to do, right? We're a discounter.
The margin's already single digit, right?
There's no margin.
Right.
And so for us, it didn't seem like a great area for us to play in.
Right. It seems like when Woot puts something up for, like consumer electronics up, it's something odd, like here's a robot that, or some kit or something. It's not going to be an iPhone. I mean, Apple doesn't need to clear things out. Right. And if it's going to be a phone, it's going to be one that you probably don't want anyway.
And the price competition to sell televisions. I mean, you can find a television anywhere on the internet, and we could probably beat the price, but with the shipping, we'd probably be the same. And what we like to deliver to our customers every day is the best possible price.
Interesting. And what kind of, in terms of the membership base, you say you have 3 million. How many of those are, let's say, uber active? I don't know what, you must have some category of people who are addicted to this.
Right.
What is the profile of the addicted person? I'm sure there's a lot of people who sign up, try it once, and that's it. And then there's a group of people who try a couple times a year. But what's that uber active group? Because there must be people who come every day and buy every 3 days or something.
Right. Our membership is highly engaged. Yeah. So we do questionnaires and surveys a lot, and even our VC, when they look to invest in our business, they did a survey. They got a 20% return rate within 45 minutes of the questionnaire. That's how highly engaged our customer is. They want to talk. They want to participate. They are excited to come every morning to see what's new, right? So this is a new age of shopping on the internet. The old age was intent-based. You go to Amazon, you go to the search, you put in what you want, you find it, you buy it. This is the new age, which is discovery. There's new discoveries every day. And not only do we have established brands, but part of what we do on Hautelook is we bring new members. And by bringing new members, we're able to bring new brands. And we encourage our brand sales team to put up brands that our members probably never heard of. We're launching new brands to allow them to kind of seed our membership base and grow with us. And we've seen that with a jewelry designer. She never really sold at retail, started selling on our site, and now she's moved into brick and mortar retail distribution.
Yeah, so is there going to be a new class of merchant that only goes through this channel? I mean, is that a possibility? Like I say, I've got this great idea for a type of shirt that I produce. I'm going to produce in limited quantities. I can just go through this channel, start and end with your membership?
So we're starting to see that. That was my question at the beginning. Can we build a brand at off price? Right. I've never seen anyone build a brand at off price. This is a whole new way of talking to the customer. So it's brand directly to the customer. Remember, with the department store, you have a 2.2 markup. There's a lot of margin in there that really you don't need if you don't have to have walls and staff, right, that are talking to the customer. So we're able to allow the brands to engage a customer at a fraction of the cost that they used to have to through the markup with the department store. So I think there'll be a channel that will create new brands at a price point which lets the brand deal directly with the customer through a platform like ours.
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer. Tyler used to be in the industry. I mean, if I said I want to come up with Jason Calacanis brand shirts,
you could never produce the clothes fast enough by the time the customer wanted it. It's going to your turnaround to manufacture that stuff is going to be minimum 4 weeks to produce your order. So you're going to have it made before you sell it.
So what if I say I'm going to make, 1,000 shirts that are to my specification, the JCal brand shirts or whatever, with a little bulldog on them, and I just put them into this channel and say they're $100 each, and they've got double the stitching of the you know, the $200 brand shirts, and I'm not going to do any marketing. But you guys have somebody there who could say, yeah, it does have double the stitching, and we're done, right?
Right now, because we're a discount channel, they have to have an original MSRP. So that is the question. Can you just put up an item and say, it is this price?
So you're not
and
opposed to it.
That's what Shoe Dazzle's doing.
That's what Shoe Dazzle's doing.
Shoe Dazzle's saying, hey, we've got this look for $39.95, and it is made for you for $39.95.
That's it.
That's it. It's not, it was $200, and now it's $39.95. It's, you get this fashion for $39.95.
And it's similar to, it might remind you of this other fashion thing. So,
Inspired by.
Does this mean you guys have a label at some point? Is there a Hautelook label where you do like white label, or what would it be like? Your house brand? Would you have a house brand or something?
Private label.
Private label is what you call it? Yeah.
Currently, we don't do that.
Right.
There is obviously opportunity in the future for us to do those types of things.
Right.
Obviously, we have a lot of information
Right.
about what our customers' likes and dislikes are, what they're buying, what the trends are. So the ability for this kind of fast fashion, what H&M does, what Forever 21 does,
yes.
what Uniqlo does, who I think is the best retailer in the world. Uniqlo.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
And they now have one in New York. It's
They're
revolutionizing retail shopping, essentially.
Uniqlo.
UNIQLO.
Yeah.
They're the 4th largest retailer on the planet,
I just
and
pulled
you've
it up.
never heard of them.
I'm looking at it right now.
Every Japanese person's heard of them.
Right.
intimately.
And now they have 10 stores in...
Oh, is this the one you told me that
UK.
has no labels in the store?
No, they have labels.
Oh,
No, you're thinking of Muji.
They're
which is
a
another,
fantastic retailer.
Another Japanese brand, but different.
And what they've been able to do is fast fashion. They are on trend as fast as possible in the store, and they have massive distribution.
Huh. And so they're actually stores, but they're fast fashion stores.
Uniqlo, the head of Uniqlo is now #2 richest guy in Japan, second only to Mazda now.
Mr. Yanai.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
And why I bring that up is this fast fashion, right? Fashion moves so quickly that for us to be able to get to market what the consumer wants, and this is mostly in the apparel part of the business, right? Which is still the largest single part of our business. But as we continue to grow, there's more parts of the lifestyle that will start to be in this kind of fast fashion.
That is incredible. Tyler, here's an outfit for you. You can see on the panel here. There's some fast fashion.
That's very Tokyo, actually.
That's going to fast you right back to less than zero in 1983.
I can actually...
I actually have that. And I can push up the sleeves.
And that hairstyle would look good on you too, Tyler.
I know, Tyler. This is going to be...
If you pull up the Yoyogi Park street dancers, it's almost an homage to a group of dancers that perform in Tokyo, actually, that's inspired by.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I should be interviewing Tyler. They do like the all Japanese. I'm actually learning a lot about this. So Uniqlo, how are they look? Is it Uniqlo?
Uniqlo.
Say it again.
Uniqlo.
Uniqlo.
It depends if you add the Japanese accent to it or not.
Let me hear it in Japanese.
Uniqlo.
Uniqlo.
Let me hear it in English now.
However you want to do it.
Uniqlo.
Sounds the same.
Uniqlo. So how does the rest of the fashion world look at Uniqlo? Are these guys pariahs to them?
Uniqlo is so focused on the customer experience. I mean, they're nailing it on all fronts. They get into the A/B testing and optimization of the number of times that I say your name that you're in the store, and magical phrases that they know can get you to convert to buy.
Wow.
And each employee it's the most regimented employee service.
This is why I want to do This Week in Startups, the Japanese version. If anybody in Japan is watching this or knows somebody in Japan, forward them this clip and this episode. I'm looking for a host of This Week in Startups Japan. You basically license the show, and if you do a good job, we'll let you use the name.
Right, and they have, like Tyler was saying, they have when they come in the morning, the entire staff has to repeat the 5 principles of the business before they open the door.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I'm going to start doing that for This Week In. Everybody has to... We produce quality content. We do this. We do that. Wow, fascinating. So you guys could have a Uniqlo-style business, but you might alienate the people who you're moving merchandise for. Could you possibly do something like that without alienating them, or you have to pick?
I study a lot of retailers, right?
Yeah.
So as brick and mortar continues to move online, I take the best of all of those brick and mortar retailers. So our ability to move into fast fashion exists. How we're going to do it is going to be the key. obviously, as you know, execution is going to be everything.
Yep.
It will come to that. The same thing happened to the outlet mall, right?
Yes.
The outlet mall was an exhaust channel in a white vanilla store.
Right.
And now when you go, it is merchandised and it looks like they're a store on Rodeo.
That's what I don't understand. I used to go to the outlet store for Barney's in upstate New York. On the way, I'd be going upstate, and I would
Woodbury
get
Commons.
Woodbury Commons, and I would stop at exit 15 Woodbury Commons, and I would get the black shirts that I liked from the Barney's store on the thing. And in the store in New York, they were $60 or $70 for a T-shirt, so I felt like a bit of a D-bag buying a $70 T-shirt, but I loved it. And I would get them for $25 or $30 on the way up to go camping. Then I realized I brought them home one time, and they were different shirts. And the quality was different, and the ones from the store that were $25 washed out, and the ones from the store were better.
Right.
And I realized these are different products. Are people putting different things into this product that are actually going to the store, and do you have a rule about that? Do you police it?
Right, so we don't have any goods that weren't first run that went to the regular department stores and regular retailers. What has happened is brands will overcut on those same runs because they know that they have our channel to move their goods, and it's actually a profitable channel for them.
Right, so there's still a little bit of profit left in your channel.
Without a doubt.
So they'll just say, well, we know we can move 1,000 of these on Hautelook. Just print up an extra 1,000.
What it's enabled them to do is the economies of scale for production.
Right, those last 1,000
get them a much better deal.
Get them a much better deal, so you've expanded their footprint. Interesting. Are other people doing that? Is this a problem in the industry? I've heard that some of these channels, people are making product directly for the channel.
It hasn't happened with us.
Yeah, but it does exist in the industry.
Not that I know of.
You don't really? You sure? You're under oath.
I know, but I don't run these companies.
Exactly. I think that's what's starting to happen. Is they're running out of inventory, and people are going to start getting that made for channel stuff.
For brick and mortar, you can get stuff if you have a hot look, no pun intended.
Yeah.
That's selling well at retail.
Yeah.
And you're selling to Barney's or whatever.
Yeah.
Ross may even come to you and say, "Hey, can you go get this knocked off in China for us?" So either
how do you protect? Well, you guys are a brand, so you protect the customer from that. Right. You guarantee that. That's your brand proposition.
We only work with established brands. Right?
Right.
We work with about 1,000 brand partners.
Right. No shenanigans.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah. You wouldn't tolerate it. It's not your brand image, etc.
No, and all of our brand team is highly trained, and most of them come from the brick and mortar department store world.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of long-standing relationships. No one really wants to abuse those relationships.
Right. So when you launch the fast fashion, which is obviously why you raised the money, and it's obviously the opportunity, does that mean you just do it like one day a week or something, or is it once a month? Is that how you?
We don't do it.
You don't do it. But if you did do it, you could do it once every 10 days, and you could guarantee your merchants that you're not going to do it every day.
I think
if it was a percentage of your sales, it would be smaller.
Looking at the future, I think
yeah.
it could be an opportunity. We don't produce any goods.
Right.
We only work with quality
yeah.
brands that are selling in the regular retail channel. I think as this continues to grow, brands are looking for alternative distribution. Diffusion lines will start to happen, right, where brands will be able to increase their distribution by creating for the channel. But the only way that we're going to participate in that is if the quality is of the same quality of what they produce.
So then you guys become like the good housekeeping seal of approval. If it's on there, the members know. And if the members were to revolt and say, you know what, I watched this thing 3 times, they have the message board on your site or something. And once you see 10 people saying, hey, that shirt that was made for the channel is no good, you would want to protect the brand.
Yeah, see, I don't see the brand, this business evolving that way. Yeah. Our site is not evolving that way. We don't have any goods made for the site at this point, and we're going to continue to live by that. We have plenty of inventory for our members at this point. Yeah. So 3, 4, 5 years down the line, like I said, this business may look a little bit different. Today and for the foreseeable future, it's exhaust from the brands.
Got it. Let's bring in Lon to do the news. You'll sit in for the news.
Sure.
You have an opinion.
He looks happy, Lon.
He's very serious. He's a very serious news guy with serious news music. You'll see when Lon comes in, he's very serious about his news. He just said, wow, this guy is so serious.
You look happy, Lon. Look at that picture.
He's a happy guy. Lon, of course, shopping at Hautelook.
I checked it out.
And also worth checking out, DNA Mail. DNA Mail, everybody loves DNA Mail. They provide fully managed and hosted Microsoft Exchange and Google Apps email. Much more economical to do it this way. You pay per user. There's no other hosting costs, and it's reliable, 99.9% uptime guarantee. It's better than hosting your own email servers. You guys don't have like a huge IT department, a bunch of Exchange servers and all that stuff, right? You outsource that.
We have that in-house.
You have that in-house. You have to use DNA Mail. You don't have to have all these servers and everything. You put it in the cloud and you're done. Right. Save money at DNA Mail, 99.9% uptime guarantee, and a sponsor of the program since episode number 1, I believe.
Yes, from the very beginning.
From the very beginning. It's our longest standing advertiser at DNA Mail on Twitter. Also another great advertiser, .co.
Yes.
.co had a tremendous first week.
What a day that was.
Yeah, it's crazy. So create your own opportunity. .co is the new web address that gives you a truly global and recognizable, credible option for branding your online presence. Of course, you have Hautelook.co.
.com.
And you need to get .co because that is available now as in company. And people have been buying all kinds of
deals today.
Wow, you're selling me everything. Cloud
Absolutely.
computing.
I got you cloud computing, whatever. Now, I know how to sell. This is what I do. And
amazing.
Twitter bought T.co, just so you know. Twitter made a big purchase. Overstock bought O.co. Politico, the famous blog, bought Politi.co. That's pretty clever. And I bought LonHarris.co. And of course, I own Mahalo.co, which we're going to use for our corporate site.
Yes.
And thank you to them for sponsoring. Overstock paid $350,000 for O.co. So it's a really short URL. And go get.
It means company everywhere.
It means company everywhere, so everybody knows.
Yeah.
And if you buy a domain, somebody who buys a domain on this show and tweets it, or if you buy it this week, let's say, and you tweet what domain you bought and you put the hashtag #twist on it, I will pay for your domain.
Oh, nice.
So I'll just PayPal you directly.
Yeah.
I'll send you a $100. How about that?
I love it.
So now it becomes a little bit of a game. If you buy a domain from .co during the week, put #twist on it, I'll ship a $100 to somebody.
Can I use your iPad?
Yeah, exactly. No, I didn't say everybody. I didn't say everybody.
One winner.
One winner
You
will
didn't
get.
say one winner.
I said one winner. One person will get a hundo from JCal.
We'll pick a .co domain that we like. That somebody
Yeah,
buys.
somebody buys one. Just send 100 to them, and you ship it, and there you go. Thank our sponsors at DNA Mail and at Trada and .co on your Twitter account, and I will appreciate it. What's in the news, Tyler? Tyler, Lon.
My name's Lon. I know I'm dressing classier now. So
That's what it is. Now that you're dressing classy.
I don't look like
always
myself.
mix us up.
They always do. I think it's because of the unique hairstyles. They're so similar. Okay,
We look alike.
Lon, tell us what's in the news.
Yes, in an interview with the Wall Street Journal this week, Google CEO Eric Schmidt seems to have let the cat out of the bag and confirmed an earlier report by TechCrunch about a Google-Zynga partnership. When asked about Google's partnership with Zynga, Mr. Schmidt said, "We haven't announced it, but you can expect a partnership with Zynga in the future."
Yes.
TechCrunch reported, you'll recall back in early July, Google had invested between $100 and $200 million in Zynga, and that a strategic partnership was in the works. Neither company has since confirmed any of this information. Any thoughts on what kind of partnership these two may be planning? Think it's Google trying to lure people away from Facebook for its forthcoming Google Me social network?
The name of the game right now is devalue the other guy's primary asset. So Google did it to Microsoft by giving Office away for free.
Right.
They're trying to devalue that. Now Microsoft is going to try to devalue Google's big party, which is search, giving discounts on search advertising, etc. And of course, Facebook is taking a lot of audience, and they'll launch a search engine next year, as I've told people, and they're going to launch an ad network next year that you'll be able to put those ads on your site. So Mahalo will have to choose between Bing, Google, and Facebook ads. So they're just going to devalue the other guy's sites. 99% of what people do on Facebook is share photos and play games.
Play games, yeah.
And by the way, those are not very defensible. Sharing photos, Twitter is going to launch embedded, and the deal that's coming down the pipe is going to be Twitter and Zynga. And I know this because I told them 2 years ago they should do a deal. And I told Evan Williams and Mark Pincus, who are both good friends of mine, I told them, hey, why don't you, if you guys really want to gang up on Twitter, create your own IM client like QQ in China. That is a Twitter-based client that lets you use your Twitter handle to log into Zynga's games on Zynga.com, and you'll box out Facebook, and you don't have to worry about them screwing you because that's what Zuckerberg's going to do anyway. He's going to cut your throat the second he gets a chance. And actually, Zuckerberg did that by launching his own virtual currency that you have to use.
Yes.
So Google will just say it's 30% to use virtual currency on Facebook. We will do it for 10. And if Google was really smart, they would say, we'll do it for $5, just a transaction fee.
Right.
And that's the deal. That's why Zynga had that whole big negotiation, then finally signed up for the Facebook credits.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Mark Pincus got that at cost, or maybe 1 or 2 points over cost, because he has all the leverage, because he has the games. I think ultimately Zynga, bigger company than Facebook. And that's an insane thing to say.
That is.
But I think Zynga will become a social network. Any thoughts? You can just say, I agree, Jason.
I agree, Jason. That's a big statement.
That Zynga is going to be bigger?
Yes.
Well, I like Mark Pincus more, so that's why I'm in it. Mark Pincus is my friend. I don't like Zuckerberg. So I can be. No, I do think, actually, if you look at who has the value, I mean, Facebook keeps saying, like, the social graph is so valuable. But every site has a social graph. You can rebuild your social graph just from your email inbox. And so I think the social graph is going to become worthless. I think it's going to exist everywhere. So, and photo sharing exists everywhere. And games are going to move everywhere. So if I can play Farmville on my mobile phone, my iPad, and on the web directly, I may not need to log into Facebook to play it. So this sort of lock that Facebook, everybody thinks, oh my God, Facebook's got so many people locked in. I logged in for the first time the other day because I wanted to see the questions thing. So I reactivated my account.
Right, yeah.
Which I had deleted, and then I had to not delete because I had to put it on deactivated because so many of my services log in through that.
Right.
That I've been slowly going through and putting my email address into them, so that's not my primary location. Long story short, I got back on, and you know what I missed? Nothing.
Yeah, it's not.
Nothing has occurred on Facebook in the last 60 days of my life.
Zero. How'd you like the ask? Where you can ask the network?
Yeah, I mean, people are doing it already by just putting a status update. So if you type in "how do I" or "does anyone know," type in "does anyone know" on Twitter search, it's happening already. So putting a little more structure on it is going to be helpful, but they're not focused on it like we are, or Quora is, or Vark is. Question and answer is very nuanced, and it has a lot to do with community building. You don't just get there by including it in the software.
Well,
you have to actually build a community.
One thing I do think they have a little bit of a leg up with Facebook is I already entered my interest when I built my profile.
Sure.
So they're already feeding me. I mean, the first time I ever checked out questions, they were like, hey, you like David Bowie. Here's 3 questions that have already been asked you might know the answer to. There is a power in that. Other than that, I can see it's sort of not adding a lot of functionality I couldn't have already. If I wanted to put what's the best David Bowie album, I could already put
also,
that on
I don't
my
think
wall.
that they're going to make that stuff. It would be interesting to see if they make that stuff indexable and SEOable. I'm not certain that they're going to make the Q&A product like, SEOable and have it indexed in Google. So, and that's where Yahoo Answers gets its traffic from, and that's where we get our traffic from, is from search. So, if they do, it could be a viable product, but I don't think it's going to be their primary focus. And I think the two main things the 3 things that are in their wheelhouse are the social graph, whatever that means. It just means your list of friends.
That means your friends and their activity and their...
Yeah, but I mean, I think the social graph itself is a marketing concept.
Right.
It's like an intellectualization of what social networking is. But I don't think that has that much value when every other piece of software has it. And now, you can log in with your Twitter, you can log in with, these other services, LinkedIn.
Sure. Yeah.
It starts to not have as much value.
This actually leads perfectly into my next news story.
Go ahead.
According to a report in Bloomberg, Facebook will put off its IPO until 2010, or until after 2010, until 2012.
2012,
to give Mark Zuckerberg and company a chance to gain more users and boost sales. The hope is that another year of growth without the scrutiny that would come with a public listing will benefit the company and potentially drive the price higher, while also giving Zuck a shot at improving his leadership and communication skills and allowing some of the recent scandals and controversies to die down. In a TV interview with Diane Sawyer last month, Zuckerberg said Facebook would go public, quote, when it makes sense. But most had believed this would be sometime in 2011. Facebook is currently valued at $24.9 billion and did something between $700 and $800 million in sales last year, if you believe most of the estimates. So do you think we'll see a Facebook IPO in 2011, 2012 even? And is the extra year really going to help them?
They can always change their mind. I'm not sure why they're putting this information out there. I mean, this information came from the organization, right?
Bloomberg is reporting it. It has not been confirmed or denied by Facebook itself, but they're saying they have several sources with inside information. Presumably it is from Facebook itself.
I would think that if the story was on Bloomberg, Facebook would have leaked it directly to them, because Bloomberg's not TechCrunch, where Mike's going to go out on a limb because he heard it from somebody. I think Bloomberg would want a little bit more, since it's financial news, but who knows. So let's say it is true and they leaked it. If it's true and they leaked it, why would they put that information out there? is my question. I don't understand what they're. I'm thinking as a gaming the market. Like, are they trying to tell Wall Street something, or are they trying to say something to their employees or to their investors? What is the? I don't know. Anybody have any speculation of why you would put that out there? And if it's just made up and somebody's got an agenda, well, but what do you win by putting that information out there? Sympathy for Mark Zuckerberg that he needs more time? I don't know.
It makes them look bad, like they're scrambling and they have to push back.
But why would you even give a date? I mean, there's something you just don't do. And if you were planning an IPO and it was that far out, you wouldn't even have it out as a date. I don't know. Maybe there's some document that says this is this is the goal we want to get to. I think probably what they want to do is be able to hit a valuation that's higher than the valuation they currently have.
Yeah.
And with the current valuation of with $1 billion in revenue, and assuming no profits because it's a very expensive business to run, or very low profits because they're very under-monetized, $1 billion, 25 times top line. I mean, that's not possible. It's going to be times earnings, and if it was 25 times earnings, that would be a fast growth business. So if they had $1 billion in profits, they could be worth $25 billion. I think they'd have to have what they have.
Profits.
Yeah, if they had $1 billion in profits, that would be, what is the PE of most tech companies now? 12, 15?
Can go 20.
It has, but it's 12 to 15 right now. I mean, somebody look up what the PE of Google is right now. I'm guessing stocks are right now valued low.
Right.
Let's say of the $1 billion in revenue they have, forward looking in the next year or so, they have $1 billion, let's say. Are they saying it's $1 billion for 2010?
They're saying
800 to 900.
Yeah, they were saying
800
to 800 million in sales last year for
Google's 21.
09.
21 times forward looking, yeah. So we give them 20 times forward looking. If they were going to make $2 billion next year and they had $400 million profits, 20 times $400 million. $8 billion. Ouch.
That's a little less than 24.9.
Yeah, you see, when 24, so I think what that says is the expectation is that they are going to be much bigger than they actually are right now. So let's say they are underutilized by 5 times. Let's say there's 5 times more. They couldn't get 5 times more out of what they currently have. Let's say they put a roadblock on every time you logged in with an ad, and they had a bigger banner ad along the side, not the click ads.
Yeah.
So they support banners. They can do 3 times as many. Right? That would be $6 billion. Let's say they have a 30% margin on that $6 billion. That's $900 million, and they get 20 times. Now they're at 18 billion, 20 billion. So
what if they can get virtual currency used in brick and mortar and just rake in the dough?
Yeah, but then people would be giving away real stuff for fake stuff. Doesn't work that way. Unless, it is possible that I guess a restaurant owner.
It does work that way when you want to avoid tax. So
yeah, but that's actually an interesting William Gibson-esque concept. Like, you come into my store and I sell you a quart of milk
for
Farmville
currency,
coins,
yeah.
and then I go build my farm.
That's gonna be a tough one right now.
Yeah, little rough. And Mark Pincus wins again.
There is that. Yeah, there's that World of Warcraft gold farming. Like those. That's people being paid real money for virtual goods. Yeah. So it is theoretically happening.
Mark Pincus is going to be on the 100th episode. I decided.
Oh, really?
Well, he owes me because he's supposed to be on the episode all the time. I'm really good friends with Mark Pincus. I'm like, he came to my wedding, I went to his wedding. Like, I almost was the first investor in Zynga, and I didn't do it like an idiot.
Almost?
I wasn't an angel investor back then. I didn't think of myself that way. But he invested in Mahalo. Anyway, he'll be on the 100th episode. Were you going to say something?
I would imagine that they are trying to get their EBITDA up, right?
Yeah.
We find success there. So we do really well. So I would imagine they're going to continue to squeeze people like us that have found success advertising on Facebook. Yeah. And their revs are going to continue to go up because they're just going to start charging us more. I don't think they're going to start to make their site look like the side of the 405 freeway.
Right.
They're going to have to just start to squeeze us. We're probably waiting for ad revs to start to raise a little bit, and then they can show some more profit.
So instead of 5-cent minimum click, it goes to 10.
Right.
Or whatever.
And because obviously we have an ROI, I know how much I can pay.
Right.
And there's some room, right?
Right.
Not for me right now. There's no room.
There's no room. Zero. We're about to stop and put everything back on Google.
We're going to Google.
No, I've heard this from multiple people that Facebook is underselling to get people to start accounts, basically. So you can, I think, what is the minimum cost per click? It might be 2 cents or 3 cents. You could maybe pay a penny a click already, which was an old game that Google used to do. You used to be able to pay like a penny or 2 a click, then it went to a nickel, now it's 10 cents or something, minimum click. Right. So they're going to keep raising it, and I've heard from many people that if you get the right keywords, because I put something in there for like a penny click to get some traffic to one of our sites, and all of a sudden I saw like one day got 100 clicks, and I was like,
Look,
oh, it must have gotten to that point in the inventory.
They've got over 100 million people using the mobile app, though.
Really?
Yeah. So, how, if they wanted to get into the brick and mortar retail coupon pushing space, it could get real crazy real quick if they decided they wanted to try that stuff.
No, I don't see the portals going into that.
Or
I think
they can offer you Facebook coins to check in at McDonald's is a deal they're doing.
Maybe they're just waiting for Groupon to get bigger to spend more money.
Maybe they'll buy Groupon. Yeah, exactly. I don't think this is where I was having this conversation with somebody. I don't think the Groupons, the Roulalahs, and Hautelooks and Gilt Groupe are going to sell. I think they're just going to keep building and go IPO and be sustainable.
And
it's too big of an opportunity.
I think Facebook can build their own Groupon, and they are.
Yeah.
Right? They know all the information, like you said, on when.
I don't think they're going to get into that. Maybe they'll do something like Twitter did with that deals. What is that thing called? Early Bird. Have you done a deal with Early Bird yet?
No, we haven't.
Have you reached out to them? What is their?
We looked at it.
What's the deal?
I don't know the answer if it will work for us.
Right.
I think it could be interesting, right? But I think it's great for local service people rather than for the flash sale providers.
Because they only go to people in that demographic?
Yeah, it's highly focused, right?
Got
so it's a great tool for local services. Not
Why
so
doesn't
much
Twitter
for us.
just automatically subscribe everybody to Early Bird as part of being a Twitter member? It's free, but you have to have Early Bird as a friend.
I think that would be annoying for people. There's too much information. Just like when people fan us, we make sure that we don't put too many posts up because it just takes over their Facebook
Yeah, it's
page.
pretty
Right? So you have to be careful of how toxic you are on people's own Twitter and their own Facebook page.
I love what they did with the promoted tweets. So Dinner for Schmucks is today's, and they get the first link, and it's been retweeted 1 billion times.
1 billion?
I think it's worth. I think it will be $1 billion thing. I'm going to retweet this just to support my guys. Next story.
Next story. Let's talk about us.
We've only got 8 more stories to go. Don't worry. We'll be back in your office.
Fantastic.
We'll do 2 more
It's only
stories.
been a
I thought this was
90-minute
like
show
Letterman.
so
I get to
far.
choose if I wanted to stay or not.
Yeah, no choice, no choice.
to stay.
But what we do is we get you loosened up during the news, and then I'll ask 1 or 2 more questions that you didn't answer during the interview. Next story.
Next story. Spotify music service, now launched and popular throughout Europe for some time, continues to struggle with the U.S. launch. According to Billboard.com, they've experienced yet another setback. Billboard's reporting Spotify is back to square one on its negotiations with U.S. record labels, which have essentially rejected the service's European business model outright. Right now in Europe, it's freemium. You stream music for free and you see ads, or you can pay for a subscription without ads and you can get mobile access on your phone. Warner Music Group and a few other labels are on the record disliking the freemium model. They're basically not going for it. So Billboard reports Spotify's basically going back from scratch, asking labels what kind of model they would need to see in order to allow the company to launch stateside. Spotify, for their part, is denying these allegations in the Billboard article. They claim they are still planning to launch a U.S. version in 2010, and the article is also reporting that Spotify CEO Daniel Ek had approached Founders Fund's Sean Parker to lead U.S. operations. Ek is denying that as well. So you've had a chance, I know, to test out the European Spotify service. Do you think it will have a shot stateside, and how important is it for them to launch soon, considering there's already Pandora and Google and Apple are both planning streaming music services? I mean, if they don't get in soon, are they sort of DOA?
It's a great service. It is too good to be true. As such, the music industry, and people love it, so the music industry will try to screw it up. I mean, they try to screw up everything. But it's also their big opportunity. I have had a Spotify account. I know Tyler has one. I had one because they gave me one to play with as a press person. And I know Sean Parker's very big on it, and Founders Fund did invest in it, so I could see Sean Parker being the CEO of it, or them tapping him for that since he's got a background in it. Music is going to go to subscription if they have any brains. I have Rhapsody on my Sonos player at home, and my God, I haven't bought a CD since then, but I am paying $12, $13 a month, so I'm paying $200 a year or something like that.
Yeah, thereabouts.
So, I don't know, it would be better for the music industry to have every household pay $200 a year rather than every household buy, I don't know what every household buys on average, 2 CDs and 3 CDs?
Does anybody buy CDs?
I don't know.
I mean,
or
Like
iTunes.
iTunes, yeah, people are
iTunes.
downloading.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
$2 billion in
And-
songs. I don't know how many of them.
You know, you buy a song.
Right.
No one's buying an album.
Well, I
Right,
think,
so-
there are some. iTunes does, decent album sales, I'm sure. Like, it's more single-based at this point. But
that's what the beauty of the subscription thing is. You can just type in, I typed in, I wanted to play some stuff with my daughters. I was like, I want to hear the Rainbow Connection, by Kermit the Frog, like from the movies. And there were, 500 hippies who've It's one of the most covered songs. It turns out.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Everybody's done the Rainbow. Hey, can we, Will? Can you cue up the Rainbow Connection? Kenny Loggins.
Not the double Rainbow song.
Not the double Rainbow Connection, but the Rainbow Connection. We'll play that out.
Kermit's Rainbow.
After the show, we'll play that out. So anyway, using a subscription-based service is like driving an electric car. You do not go backwards.
Yeah, and
it's very hard to go backwards.
It doesn't seem like the music industry is anti-subscription services generally. I mean, there's Pandora, which does have a subscription option.
Yeah, but Pandora pays by the stream. And
right.
if you leave your Pandora on for like 24 hours or something like that, please don't do this, people. They're paying that whole time, even if you're not listening.
Right.
They have an activity timeout or something like that? I think they must.
They must, yeah. They must, because we have it run between shows here, and I'm sure it'll shut off at some point.
We do?
Yeah, we're playing Pandora.
No, okay. I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
Yeah, in all my photo studios in my office, Pandora's going all the time.
Really?
They have it going all the time in the studios.
Does Pandora have advertisements between the songs now, like actual audio advertisements?
Yes.
Streaming, yeah.
Streaming audio.
Streaming ads
audio.
between songs. Yeah, so it's just, it's like listening to the radio. You hear a couple songs, you hear an ad.
Do you buy ads with that? You should do ads with that. Today on Hautelook, that'd be pretty good. You buy the Kenny Loggins channel. Or...
It's like Home
we've tested
Depot ads.
And does it work?
It's interesting, yeah. It's an interesting channel.
Really? That must mean it's working really well if you don't want to talk about it. Next story.
Okay.
Tyler was about to have an insight.
No,
it's okay, fine. Zero insight show.
Spotify is...
Zero insight show.
It is exactly you said. It's too good. It's like the record industry. They're not going to be able to get it in here until the record industry says, they've signed off on their licensing and rights and whatever, and they're never going to do that. If they were going to do it, they would have done it already.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's a shame because it's the best piece of software I've
there's Rhapsody,
downloaded.
right? Isn't that a subscription?
Rhapsody, yeah, it doesn't have the footprint of Spotify, and Spotify's global. Like, you have every album in Germany, every album in French.
You can't think of a song that it's like iTunes with everything you could ever imagine in it instantly.
It's even more because you have foreign language. So, and then they have this playlist service. So people are like, here are all the French Bob Dylan covers, and I've made a playlist, and it's a playlist on the web. You click it on the web, it launches Spotify and plays female singers singing Bob Dylan songs in French, and it's like, wow, this is delightful. This would be great for the next dinner party.
Yeah.
How much does it cost a month?
Spotify?
Nothing.
It's nothing if you have ads, and then there's a pro model.
The Pro is probably $15 a month.
I don't know why you would need.
Rhapsody's $12.
It's the only real reason to get the Pro so you can put the songs on your phone, basically.
It's mobile and there's no ads.
I don't think they can do that. People should pay for it. They can't do the free version. They can't. How could that be free and ad supported? Then they don't make Pandora.
Yeah, right.
Makes no sense. Until they have their own. If
Well,
the
they
music
just-
industry
they
wants to do
want you to go to
advertising, they need to
iTunes
hire
and-
advertising staff, sales staff, and they have to understand that business. And that means the executives there have to go from having this skill set to this skill set. And the executives there know how to do like two things. One, spend money, like on their houses and planes and whatever and parties. And then two, like identify and package talent. That's what they know how to do. Like they don't want to do more work. I worked at Sony Music. These guys are done by 3 or 4 o'clock. They're on vacation for months at a time. They don't want to work hard.
Right.
As opposed to the movie industry, these guys are hustling. They're working hard constantly. That's why they're a little more adaptable to Netflix on demand. They want to make more money.
Redbox.
Music industry just wants to we did the album, we sold 10 million, we're done.
Yeah, well,
Come back in 2 years.
There's still money in movies. There's no money in music now. So.
Because they don't innovate. I mean, if you sit there on your laurels, they could be, with these subscription services, they should have started them 15 years ago at $100 a month, gotten all the knuckleheads to buy it. Then they should have made it $75 a month, got the next level of, goofballs to do it. And then, it would have been like a status thing, like having an iPhone or whatever. And they could probably have, the music industry would have 25 million people subscribed right now for at least $10 a month, $20 a month. It would be the footprint of AOL in its heyday. It would be billions of dollars in pure profit.
I can't imagine driving around in my car without my Sirius radio.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I turned on terrestrial radio.
No, I don't turn it on. God, no. Last story.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll give
Give
you
us a choice.
I'll give you a choice. We got a lot. We can talk about the Y Combinator Angel Conference discussions that have been going on. We can talk about the Facebook hacker or the debate about whether he's a hacker.
Okay.
We can talk about the Black Pad, RAM's new Apple iPad competitor.
What?
Or we can talk about the rumored or Voy URL, a sort of Blippy-like service that lets you spy on your friend's web activity.
Okay.
Did I get a vote?
Yeah, take a vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take us through it. We have Y Combinator, Facebook hacker, Black Pad.
Black Pad or Voy URL. VOY URL.
Which lets you...
It's Blippy, but for your web activity.
Okay, so we have to guess which one of these is a fake story.
They're all real.
So
100% real.
Facebook hacking, Blackpad.
Y Combinators has its Angel Conference, and Voy URL.
What do you think? What do you want to hear?
I'm going to have to go with Voy URL.
Let's hear Voy URL.
Voy URL seems to be the vote in the chat room as well. It's a new service. It's currently in stealth mode, so if you go to voyurl.com, you'll just see a welcome screen. And it's Blippy for your web behavior. You choose to share with other people a list of what websites you're visiting, and of course you have the option to disable it for certain kinds of sites that you may not want everybody to see that you are visiting.
What kind
not
of
that I
sites
can
would those
imagine
be?
what those sites would be. And their front page says, quote, "A little creeped out? That's cool, but don't worry. It's okay to look. Besides, you can turn off Voy URL at any time for those unmentionable sites. Plus, you can set your own filters. It's not that scary." TechCrunch is also now reporting that the site has taken out some Google ads for the names of prominent angel investors. So if they Google themselves, they see a little ad that's like, "Hi, Josh. Come check out Voy URL." And they're also fundraising on Kickstarter, though they've only raised $1,300 so far. So you are a Blippy investor, full disclosure. Yep. Do you think this is a similar concept that also has legs? Would you potentially invest in this?
This has already been done before. It was called the attention stream, and there was attention data where you were going to basically write all of your things with a Firefox plugin. This was done about 3 or 4 years ago. Fred Wilson was really into it, and Seth Goldstein was really into it, and Steve Gilmore was really into it. What you basically did was you would share, these are all the things I'm looking at, and it would say, these are your top 10 sites, these are your top 20 sites that you go to, and it was interesting. People will do this. People will share, it was attention.xml, or attention.xml data.
But Voy URL is a much better name.
Voy URL
Much
is
better.
really great.
So basically, I just
Voy
say...
URL or Voy URL? Like voyeur, but voyeur.
You got it.
Voy URL, yeah.
It's a much better name than, what's the other one?
I don't know.
Attention,
You just said attention.
Oh,
what?
attention XML.
Yeah.
That's
It
terrible.
was the attention XML. They
You
basically
can't
created
tell
a
what that
standard.
is. Yeah, you don't know.
And what it would do is, but what they should do is what Blippy does really well, which is you can put your purchases into Blippy. It puts them in a holding bucket, and then you turn them on.
Right, yeah.
If you want to. So I
Yes.
put my Groupon account in it, and I looked and said, what Groupons have I bought? Which ones do I want to share? And then I shared them.
See, I look at everything. So I have a Blippy account, right? I don't use it, but I have it because I want to see everything. I don't want everybody to know everything that I'm doing. You only want people to know particular things that you're doing. This is similar, right? So you can
filter anything you want. So you could say just show, these certain sites when I go there, or whatever. It's customizable, so you don't have to share. And I think there's probably an option too to do the Blippy thing of like hold them all until you give the specific okay. So
yeah, I think that's what they're going to have to do is.
Is it a follow Twitterish like model so I can follow what Tim O'Reilly's looking at or whatever?
They're not. It's not launched yet, so I don't know. But that certainly seems like a. That's how Blippy does it.
What they should do is they should make it a browser, like a Chrome skin. So when you launch that, it's like, this is my browser, that is shared with the world. So I'm going to load things on this that I'm willing to share with the world.
Sort of like having your own Blippy credit card.
Dukes.
What'd they say?
Look at Davey Dukes.
Anyone that knows me already knows I'm on RedTube all day.
Very good. I play poker with this guy, or I play poker at this card room, and there was a guy there who just comes, I don't even want to know what business this guy is in, but he has like a bag of, I've told the story before. He comes in with like a duffel bag of cash. And he's got a guy who carries it.
Right.
I don't want to know what else is in there, but he shows up in a truck. He's got like an entourage. He's a funny guy.
In a velour jumpsuit?
No, he doesn't wear a jumpsuit, but he's got like a guy with him who is absurdly large. Like it looks like a Bond villain. Like he brings like the guy Jaws with him.
Yeah.
And he's holding his bag, and the bag's in the ground. It's so obvious this guy's got like a bag full of things like guns and cash. And he can pull a brick out of it, pull 10 grand out of it, put it on the table. And I asked him at one point, like, hey, what do you do, whatever? He's like, I'm in the adult entertainment business.
Of course, yeah.
I was like, oh, you make a lot of money in that. He goes, no, actually, I'm diversifying. I'm out of that business. I said, why? He goes, oh, all these tube sites, RedTube, PornoTube, it's over. I'm like, well, yeah, but those are only like short clips and stuff like that. And he's like, well, what more do you need, Like, you think people are watching these things for 2 hours? They're watching them for 2 minutes. That's it. He said the whole business is over. He said they've Craigslist, The tube sites have Craigslisted the entire industry. We should actually get one of those guys on this program and see if it makes money.
When we launched Hautelook 2.5 years ago, all of our tech guys were coming from the porn industry. So I did some research on why are they all coming from the porn industry? So many guys, because porn is free now.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just to sell the pumps and the pills and the things. They just give away the porn now. So
well, that's what they used to say about the music industry. Is they're like, well, one day there won't be any music left because you can't get paid doing it. Is that going to happen in the adult industry? There's not going to be any more porn because how do you pay the people who are in it?
Well, I think the people who are doing a lot of the porn are amateurs, right? Or no, I don't know.
No,
nobody knows in this room. Does anybody ever even know these shows? Let's ask Davey Duke.
Yeah, Davey Duke.
Who are these people?
I don't think it's
programmers.
I don't think it can all be amateur. There's got to be professional people.
No, of course. So what happens to professional people? They make no money.
How do they earn a living if all porn is free
I don't
now?
think they're earning a living. I think they're probably doing live
appearances somewhere?
Also known as prostitution.
I didn't realize this was here earlier. This is really interesting.
Yeah, that's why we put it over there. So if you see it, then you're going to be distracted, right?
Yeah, I can't stop watching it now.
It's pretty distracting. You have to, it's a little bit of a, okay.
All right.
Last story.
One more? All right. Let's
which one did we do? Voyeur?
We did Voyeur.
So anyway, it's an interesting idea.
Voyeur. I have a hard time saying the French version.
It's an interesting idea.
We can do the Facebook hacker guy. We can do BlackPad, or we can do the Y Combinator discussions.
We don't need to have a BlackPad one because I have a BlackBerry. I'm a BlackBerry fan. But the browser on the BlackBerry takes 8 minutes to launch and 72 minutes to open Google. So BlackBerry is a disaster as far as web surfing goes.
Well, there you go.
Any BlackBerry pad is not going to work.
Right.
So that's ridiculous.
So we got Y Combinator or the Facebook hacking guy.
The Facebook hacking story.
All right.
The last story.
Guy named Ron Bose. He's a security consultant. He created and uploaded a torrent this week. Contains more than 100 million Facebook users' information.
Genius.
He's being referred to as a, quote, Facebook hacker and has been accused of a security breach. But according to him, all he's done is compile publicly available information in a nice format for easy statistical analysis. So he's not really hacking anything.
He's indexed the web like Google.
Right. Facebook itself says that Bo's data is not different from what you'd find in the phone book. Gizmodo is now, this is an interesting twist, reporting that several major corporations have gone ahead and downloaded the torrent. They can tell based on the IP addresses of people who downloaded it. So here's just a partial list. Apple, the BBC, Disney, Goldman Sachs, HBO, HP, IBM.
You think this Goldman Sachs money managers are calling everybody because they didn't have their phone numbers.
Yeah, Intel, Motorola, Pepsi. I want to get to one of these. Viacom and the Church of Scientology.
Hello.
It's got all your Facebook. So do you think this guy did anything wrong? I'm assuming no. And would you be concerned if you found out that your data was in there and all these companies were now
didn't
downloading?
I say, like, haven't I been saying for 2 years? I mean, I'm not supposed to talk about Facebook anymore. They put a gag order on me.
Right.
But for 2 years ago, I've been talking about this. You can't trust the Facebook people, right? They just have a sort of certain worldview that's going to be portrayed in the movie. And that people don't understand that their information is not private. And they made all these switches, and they did it covertly, and they had people, click. And so people's phone numbers and all this stuff is going to come out, and there'll be some collateral damage, but people don't care about privacy. It's not like I don't think people have their prescriptions in there or, their surfing habits.
They don't have medical information.
They have your phone number. So if you put your phone number on the web, and if you gave your information to Mark Zuckerberg and he screwed you over, get in line. Like there's a million people trying to sue him. Like just the line starts over there of people who he screwed.
I'm shocked every day of how people are sharing everything that goes on with their life.
Well, that was that
more
open
Y and Z than X. Though we don't share as much. You do.
No.
But
I mean, I share a persona known as Jason Calacanis, but that's not, who I am.
Nuna Maya
so wait, we're not getting the real Jason Calacanis?
You get the public persona of Jason Calacanis.
Nuna Maya has actually posted the torrent in our chat room. It's about, I think, 3 gigs. It's a 3 gig file.
Great. Let's subscribe them all as members of Mahalo. Of course, and what this is going to do, when people start getting phone calls, when people start having identity theft or whatever, and people are going to start turning off their Facebook profiles or going to find the switches to turn it off. People don't understand how to do it now. These are the kind. I think this guy's a hero because what he's doing is he's raising awareness. And now that everybody knows your phone number can be pulled out of there in a large way, and now there's a database of it, and people start getting phone calls from telemarketers at phone numbers they didn't know were shared with the public, they will go and take that information out, and they'll think twice before putting that information in a site. So that's it.
Very nice.
He was a hero. Starting at 4 o'clock, we have
This Week in Mobile.
No.
No, this
Correct.
week it's social media.
No.
Ah, it's a new schedule.
New schedule. So in an hour and 15 minutes, you guys will be.
Stay tuned for that.
Why wouldn't you start it at 3 so it starts back to back with this show?
We gotta space man. I got a million hosts. I gotta work around everybody's schedule.
They got to be back to back. People like back to back better. Okay, so this week in social media, of course, with Sean Percival and Judalina,
Nera,
who is looking for a date.
She is.
I saw that. The show was trending on Chartbeat. So she basically
Was it really?
Yeah, because she was looking for. She's basically put herself up to. One of the hosts has put herself up to be on a dating site.
They're using PickClick, and so you can browse plenty of fish. And so they're going to use PickClick entirely to get her a date and then set up the entire date. So they'll pick a restaurant on Yelp in PickClick. They'll pick an activity through
I like
PickClick.
that. The
entire date will be set up entirely that way.
Wow. That sponsor's getting value.
Hopefully we have an experience that they could buy and get it at a discount on Hautelook.
Absolutely.
There you go. Let's
this week in mobile at 6 o'clock.
All right,
hey,
perfect.
thank you to our friends at New Tech. Very special thank you. These guys produce the TriCaster, which is how we produce the show.
Yes.
And have like a zillion cameras here hooked up.
We
into
couldn't
one
do
machine.
any of this without the TriCaster.
And if you're looking to create a network like this, you just buy a TriCaster. They start at $5,000, which seems expensive, but not for what you're getting because it's basically a studio truck in a box for $5,000, and it goes all the way up to, I think, $20,000 for these new HD ones that the NBA just bought a ton of. This is the greatest product ever. This network was built off of that product. I wouldn't have built the network without the TriCaster, and I couldn't have. TriCaster is the greatest product ever made in the history of technology, media, and entertainment, hands down.
We couldn't do it. We literally couldn't be. I mean, with the amount of shows that we're making, we're getting them edited, we're getting them cut, we're putting them online so quickly. It's all because of the TriCaster.
Absolutely.
I would also add,
Don't
Erica
oversell it.
O'Grady is the guest today on This Week in Social Media, co-founder of the Party Crashers.
What is that?
I'm going to look it up right now.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it's not Hautelook. Hautelook is a very big site.
It's not.
Congratulations on all your success to your team. Continued success, and thanks for being on the program. Everybody go to Hautelook, Hautelook.
Yes.
And Hautelook on Twitter.
Yes.
And Men's Start Monday.
Men's Still Start Monday.
Everybody, all the guys listening, I mean, if you're listening to this show, you probably don't dress well. I mean, let's face it. There's a bunch of computer geeks.
You know what? Show up Monday.
Right.
We've got all the top denim sales. That's easy
Top
for you
denims,
guys.
that's
Every
easy.
guy knows what size his waist is.
Yeah.
We've got all the top brands on Monday.
Worst case scenario, you order the wrong size, you send it back, and you get a credit.
Yeah, we have.
So you can't lose.
We've got men's beauty products that would be nice shaving creams that you probably never thought of buying.
Really?
You're just buying
Like
that
Edge
same
Gel?
old cheap stuff. See, no more cheap stuff.
What?
We're going to get you the good stuff.
Get it for Tyler, because he shaves his whole head here.
There you go. See, Tyler would be a
needs a
good
really-
customer. We have to get replenishment every other week for you.
Absolutely.
Auto-subscribe, yeah.
Auto-subscribe to the... no, but you get a little bit of a more high-end product.
And a well-rounded offering in our men's. We've got everything from jeans to suits to beauty products to belts to great home products. So
interesting.
Full rounded offering. I know most of your subscribers or most of your watchers are probably male. I don't know.
Yeah. And some of them were close.
So guys, tell all your friends.
Monday, look, I'm going to go and I'm going to buy something. I'm going to tweet what I buy.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
I'm into
Jason.
buying stuff. I bought my jeans at Zappos. I buy my shoes at Zappos. And the only thing I might buy my suits and my shirt from, I got a haberdasher who makes custom things.
Haberdasher?
I got haberdasher. But he makes these. Actually, Mark Thompson, the weatherman on Fox out here.
He makes your suits?
No. He comes into the very same poker game, Mark Thompson, who's, if you ever hear the Fox reality channel, and they're like, these two thieves go into a convenience store, but this grandma's going to give them something that's anything but convenient. You know, he's that voice, but he's also a local weatherman out here. He's also a degenerate poker player like myself. And he comes in, he's always got these perfect shirts with his initials on them, and the suits are perfect. I'm like, where do you get your clothes? Is it great? Is this Armani? Is it Zegna? And he goes, oh, I get Zegna, but I got a guy who takes Zegna and he makes it out of Zegna fabric. And I was like, well, that's what I want. Because I go to the Zegna store, it's $4.
Yeah.
This guy makes Zegna suits for $1,500, $1,900, $1,200, whatever, it depends.
Yeah.
And so he hooked me up with this guy. That's where I get all my nice shirts and stuff like that. You're looking good these days. Dressing up. You'll be on Hautelook on Monday. We'll see you next time on This Week in Startups. Who's our guest on Tuesday?
Oh, no Tuesday show. You're out of town.
I'm out of town on Tuesday. We'll see you next Friday.
We got it.
Spiked out, I could trip a referee. Tell by my attitude that I most definitely from.